Hello everyone! In my previous video, I built a voice chatbot with Google Gemini, and in today's video, I'd like to explore the open source large language models such as Meta Llama-3. Llama-3 was recently released, and the benchmark shows it is very promising comparing with models of similar size. And in today's video, I'd like to show you how to build a voice chatbot with Llama-3. Before I get started, I'd like to show you a live demonstration. Hi, Jack. Tell me a joke.
Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? Question mark. Because it was too tired. Hope that made.
Do you have another one for children?
Here's one. What do you call a group of cows? Playing instruments? A moose a cow band.
Okay, as you can see, it does work, but it's a little bit slow on my old computer. If you have a recent CPU on your computer and a good GPU, it will be much faster. I'm running Llama-3 locally on my computer with Ollama. To use Ollama, you do need a recent CPU and a supported GPU. Here is a list of GPU supported by Ollama. And here is an AMD GPU supported by Ollama. So to use Llama-3 on your computer, at first, we need to install Ollama here. So download Ollama to your computer and then install it. On Windows machine, after you finish the installation, it will ask you, do you want to get started with Ollama? And then you click it, and then this window will show up. So over here, we can install Llama-3 by using Ollama on our computer with Ollama pull Llama-3 command. Press Enter key here. It will download the model. It's about 4.7 gig, so it will take a little bit of time. Once this is done, then you are ready to run the code I showed in the live demonstration on your computer. Okay, now this is finished. On Windows machine, I do recommend you go to the Task Manager. Right-click the taskbar and then choose Task Manager. And then choose Startup Apps. And I do recommend you disable this. Instead, we are going to start Ollama from Windows PowerShell. So the command to start Ollama from the PowerShell is Ollama serve. So if you run this command, it will start Ollama, and then we can run our code. This is a Python code for Llama-3 powered voice chatbot. This is very similar to the previous version I made for the Google Gemini. So today, I'd like to highlight some changes I made. So for the rest of the code, please refer to my previous video. I will put a link in the description below. So as you can see here, we also need to install Ollama package. I will list all the packages you need for this project on the GitHub page. I will put a link to the GitHub page in the description below. For this project, I changed the large language model to Llama-3 instead of Google Gemini. At first, we start with this request here. This request is a question from the user, and then we put this request into this dictionary. And this dictionary will tell Ollama the question we are asking as a user. This is how we get a response from the Llama-3 model. Because we are streaming the response, Llama-3 will generate the response word by word. So this reply is the entire response from AI, and the short string is just one part of response. As you can see over here, we save the reply from the AI into this variable C tags here. And then we draw this C tags with a short string here, and then we draw this together into a segment of reply. And then if the length of the segment is larger than 40 characters, and we save that segment into the text queue here. And then this variable is a counter. It measures how many segments in the text queue here. And also we save the segment into this reply variable here. So this reply contains all the segments of the reply from the AI. And then we empty this short string to prepare for the next segment of the reply. So at end here, what we do is we save this reply into a dictionary, and then we send it back to AI for the next response so that the next response is relevant to the current response. Otherwise, it will think the second question is independent from the previous question. And at the end over here, we save the reply into our log file. And then in the text-to-speech function here, we convert each segment of the reply into an audio segment. And this is a counter for the audio segment. If this number is the same as this number, that means we are finished processing the text-to-speech part. And then we will stop if these two numbers are the same. And in the last function, when we play the audio file on the third thread, so this is the second thread, this is the third thread. So we do each task in different threads so that we can accelerate the process of the reply from the AI. So on the third thread, we count the number of audio segments. So if the number of audio segments we played is the same as the number of audio segments we produced from the text-to-speech part, then we will break from this loop and continue to the next question. So please watch my previous video to understand this code. It does use 3 threads to process the replies from the large language model. The rest part of the code is exactly the same as before. Please check out GitHub page for more information of this project. And leave your questions and suggestions in the comment section below. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Please subscribe to our channel as I have more videos coming up about AI, large language models, and robots. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye bye.